Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lili and Friends podcast. With me, I have my very good friend, Juliana. She's from Brazil and she's been living in America for 3 years or so. And she's been traveling quite a lot. She lived in England for quite a while as well. And she has a little girl. She's almost 2 years old. So let's see what she has to say. Tell me how did you expect to become a mom? Like, what was your vision when before you were even pregnant?
hmm Uh, so I always imagined I would have a family that would be very different from my own. So that was my dream to actually have a family. um, so this is the thing that I was looking forward the most. Um, a few years ago, I actually didn't even like kids. I hated them. Like with all my guts. Like I really hated kids until I was 25, 28, something like that. And then the following years I just started to ignore them like really well, and sometimes I would feel some kids uh, that they were really cute, like stranger kids, like the kids is nice, and I would smile at them, and then I don't know, I think just age happened and hormones happened, and suddenly when I was 30 or 31, I decided that I wanted to have kids. So that was the time that I was ready for it. And yeah, maybe I had matured the idea, and I was ready for to be a different person and to raise a family. So yeah, the thing that I idealized, was to have time for my kids, um, and be open about stuff. And I was just super happy that I found a partner that was a very respectful person, a really hard worker, a loving partner, which is something my mom didn't have.
Yeah.
So, that was already 70% of the deal to have a family.
Yeah.
To start with the right foot. Yeah. So, when did I get? So we started trying when I was 33 or 32, and then it took a while. It took us a year and a half. And then when it happened, it was just pure joy. We were crazy about the idea of having a baby. And from there, I think things just worked organically, and I don't feel like I put too much effort to force things, like, oh, I want things to be this way, they're gonna be so magical if I do it this way.
Wonderful. Yeah.
I don't know, once you decide the person that you want to be, you just follow your steps, and eventually you get there,
Yeah.
one way or the other. So yeah, all I wanted was to have a family based in respect, love, dialogue, and having time with the kids.
Right.
By the way, I just have one kid, but idealizing families, I might have two. I don't know about that. Yeah.
No, I think also the mother clock just gets in you, right? It's just like, hey, I think you're ready now, even though you hated kids at some point, but then you're like, well, but you know, your ovaries start like acting up, like, hey, you should do something with your life, man. Like it's time, and to me it was most like that as well. Like I always had. So my sister is 10 years younger than me, and ever since I got my sister, I fell in love with kids right away. Because I was 10 years old, I took care of her. I raised her. She was my baby. And she still is. She's 21, but she still is my baby. And so when my mom had her in her arms and stuff, like I just felt the joy and the love.
Oh.
It was ridiculous because I didn't birth that child, right? But I felt everything. And then when you know, she was getting older and older and older, I just loved every stage of it. And obviously when she started having all the tantrums and stuff, I was the one putting a foot on the floor and be like, you're done doing this, you know. And so after that, I just felt like I want to have a kid before I was 30. That was my goal. Like, I want to have a kid before I'm 30, but I need to find the right guy like you. So when I found my husband, you know, when he was my boyfriend and stuff, I was like, maybe, not sure. And then we got married, and then things got better between us and stuff. Not that we didn't have a great life, we did, but we got stable and where we are right now. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready. And I got pregnant before I was 30, and I got my son before I was 30. So it was really nice to have that goal set up in my mind, and it actually happened. And I got pregnant real fast, as you know. But my grandma, she died at 95 years old, and she had 17 kids. So I might have her genes, you know. You never know. And she was pregnant every 3 months after having a baby, you know, because that's when you can, you know, start doing sex again. And so every time she had a baby, 3 months later, she was pregnant again, and pregnant again, and pregnant again, until my grandfather died, basically, because he died when he was 40. So, and she told me, like, if he had died when he was 40, we would have more kids. And I was like, you already had 17. That's fine, you know. But yeah, so going back to partners, like, I feel like having a good partner that you feel like that you are loved, that you have the respect, that you are, that you know, have conversations every day, that you trust, that's fundamental to have a good family.
And now just trying to remember, like, I had lots of boyfriends. I had, like, my life was wonderful, no regrets.
Nice. I didn't, but yeah, go ahead.
But well, that's the thing. You missed a little bit of something, but you didn't miss love, because the only guy that I, you know, from the month that we started dating, like my partner and I, and that was like over 10 years ago. That was the only guy that I thought I can spend a life with him. But yeah, I never felt this for anyone else. Although I had boyfriends for years and years and years, like, it just, it was just super easy. Like, this is the guy.
Wow.
This is the guy. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
I hope other people have the chance to be that certain about other people.
Right.
But yeah. And you were saying about loving your sisters since she was born.
Yeah.
And so that was an experience that I didn't have, because I was a single child until I was 26.
Oh wow.
And then my father got married again, and he had another kid. But one of the amazing things of becoming a mom is that I learned to love other babies beside my own, and that was amazing. I didn't know I was capable of that.
Right, because you hated kids until that point. Wow. That's wonderful.
And yeah, and it's just super weird. Like, you can feel the force of Mother Nature. Like this is time to have kids. You know, you're ready for it. I'm pretty sure you got all the loving and all the physical strength to do it. Like, you're ready. You should do it now.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay. So I just follow the call. And same thing with my friends' babies. So it seems like all my friends here got babies at the same time, which is wonderful, because we could enjoy this time all together.
Yeah.
But
and share difficulties and stuff like that.
Of course.
You know,
that was
because
super important.
Yeah,
for the first year, that was
right.
Yeah, all my friends were my rock. So it was just amazing to see how I just looked into other child's eyes, and I would say, I love you, I want to protect you.
Oh my god.
Like, I
Awesome.
don't want you to bump your head. Like, and yeah, it was one of the most beautiful things in life. To
That's
discover
that's
that
some,
we're able.
yeah,
feel that.
yeah. No, I mean, I know exactly what you mean because I felt that with my sister, even though I was 10 years old, and then after school I just went to babysitting, and I loved other kids that weren't mine or not even related to me, that I just loved them, and I wanted, like you said, I wanted to protect them and be like, please don't hurt yourself, not because of course the parents will get mad at me because I was the babysitter, right? But not only for that, but I loved those kids. I still have contact with most of the kids that I babysat before. So I have two of them. They're about to be 7 years old now. I still
Wow.
see them like even here and there, and I have contact a little bit with the ones back in Germany when I lived in Germany, that I babysat three kids at the same time, and from time to time the mom sends me an email with updates of the kids. So it's great that seeing them growing up, and now they're like probably 10 years old now, and it's wonderful to see that and be part of their lives, because you do have an impact at some point. When my son sees you, he's like, oh my god, same thing when your daughter sees me, like,
Yeah.
oh my god. So it's great to see that they actually feel the same thing, even though we're not blood related.
Yeah.
Right? It's just amazing, like, how this thing works. I mean, love, right? It's
Yeah.
just, it is what
Yeah.
it is. But yeah, but going back to like family, I don't think that if I didn't have my husband, the way that he is, I could never. I mean, when I got pregnant, I was like, this is amazing. I didn't want to believe it, first of all. I was like, I'm in denial. I'm not pregnant. No, this can't happen to me. Like, even though I wanted so bad, but I was so scared.
I waited until Louise was 6 months to actually, acknowledge that she was there to other people. I don't know. I was just so afraid because it took me a long time. So, yeah, it took me months. Like, okay, she's gonna stay. Yeah, she's gonna
Right.
stay here with us.
Yeah, so to me, like, I did a lot of tests. I went to the doctor. I did a lot of tests as well. And they're like, no, what are you warning about? Like, you're pregnant. And I'm like, oh my God. But it didn't hit me until he actually came out. And when he came out, I'm like, oh, this isn't real. Like, please wake up. This isn't real. I think now, obviously, like, it's been 2 years. So, obviously, now I hit, right, the wall. I'm like, okay, I'm a mom. But sometimes it's even weird. It was even weird to hear people saying, oh, go to your mom. Oh, that's your mama. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a mom, because we have this, I don't know, for me, like, have this idea of a mom being more like 40 years old and like being more, I'm not like that. I'm very relaxed. I'm like, oh, I'm going to warn you to not bump your head, but if you bump your head, it's your fault. You know what I mean? I'm very relaxed about that, and I wasn't like that before when I was babysitting and doing caregiving at schools and stuff like that, because I was afraid of being fired.
Of course, the kids are not yours.
Right.
You can,
And I'm like, oh. But now,
you
like,
can do it differently at home. Yeah.
yeah, but at home, I'm just like, you're gonna eat dirt, just eat dirt. I don't care. Like, you're gonna survive. You know what I mean? Not that I let him do it, but if he eats it, We went to the beach today and he tried to eat rocks. And I'm like, well, you're not gonna die from it, but I'm telling you, please don't do that. And he kept on. I was like, well, you know what? We're done. Let's go home. But we were about to go home anyways. But I'm changing the topic here. But yeah, I think in the beginning, like, when he was here and I had a hard time breastfeeding in the beginning, and then when I started like having that hard time, I cried so much because it hurt me, and he was crying so hard, and I'm like, this is my fault, and I felt like this is just me, and my husband couldn't support me in any way. Like every time he would come in the room, he'd be like, "Why are you crying? What's going on?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm crying because I'm emotional, because this is too much for me. It's too much goodness and too much badness at the same time,
Oh, yeah.
So did you have that as well?
Oh yeah, being a mom is the greatest thing in the world, but also the worst.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and it's always gonna be, and it's fine. It's good. It's good the way it is. Um, let me think. Yeah, everyone has a hard time, especially the first few months. It's not something that we're prepared for. We hear other people saying it, and I told this several times to other moms, and they're like, yeah, I know it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be tough, blah blah blah. You're telling me I won't sleep for a year, and then they have the baby, and they're like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
It's nothing like I expected. Even if you warned me before, I wouldn't be able to figure this out.
Yeah.
If I didn't have the child. So yeah, it's just it's a challenge that you need to live to know. And yeah, of course. Oh, I had a super hard time at the beginning. Well, yeah, breastfeeding is hard. It took me a month and a half to adjust, which I consider good. It's normal.
Yeah.
Average. But I think the emotional side of becoming someone else was the hardest part, and it took me several months. It took me at least 4 months to adjust. To be a new person and to have a new function in society, in my family, in my house. So that was a hard thing to navigate through, because there are lots of support groups for people that need help with their babies. There's help for breastfeeding. There's help for colicky babies. But there is no help for the mom, like to find who they want to be, or to find their identity again. So I felt super lost. I found it was super hard to take care of me. I'm not lying, I'm not exaggerating. I thought it was super easy to take care of the child the first months. Like, some people say that it's a hard thing to figure out, but it was like, yeah, just, people have been talking about this. There are books about how to put a baby to sleep, how to feed a baby. There's nurses to help you with that. There is a support system for that.
Right.
But no one told me that I would feel shit, that I would hate my husband, I would hate my family, I would hate my baby sometimes.
Yeah. Or myself. Right?
Or my life.
Yeah.
And, even if, previous generations of moms told me that it's gonna be hard, blah, blah, blah. But the same way that I told other moms, like, you cannot know before you live it.
You have to experience it.
Oh, yeah.
Before you actually know what it is. Like,
Yeah.
nobody knows what it is to become a mom until you're actually a mom, right? And that's what my mom was telling me, like, oh, this is wonderful, you're pregnant, blah, blah, blah. It's gonna be great, you're gonna be great. And then when he came out and I tried to figure out, like, to breastfeed him, when does he have to sleep? When does he have to eat? When does I have time to take a bath? Like, I just wanted, like, 2 minutes for myself to take a bath. I couldn't have that, for example. And I'm like, my mom didn't tell me this. Yeah. Nobody told me this, And again, you cannot know even the emotions that you feel when the baby is born until you actually experience that. And that's probably what you're saying right now. Like, yeah. The emotional part of becoming a mom, the first couple of months, it's all about the baby. But what about us? Right? And like, having support groups is great, but all you talk about, it's basically just, how is the baby feeling? How is the baby doing? And how's he growing? Do you have any problems with, breastfeeding or this or that? But nobody tells you, like, how are you? How do you feel?
Yeah. Right? What was my favorite thing during this period was actually breastfeeding through the night. Like, we had to wake like every 2 hours, 3
Yeah.
hours. Um, and I loved the period when I was nursing Louise, and I would just get my cell phone and text other moms, and they were all awake
Yeah.
at the same time, like
Yep.
3 a.m. Hey, what you doing? Like,
Exactly.
it was amazing. That was the best thing ever. So that's what I needed. I just needed to talk to someone like about anything that was not baby, or just to bitch about something. You know, that relation is very important, and
Yeah.
I was so lucky to have friends to navigate through that period with me. Um, and also, yeah, so if I can, well, you guys can see me like waving my hands trying to make a curve. Um, but I had lots of up and downs in the first year. So first 3 months, shit. And then it got better. Then the summer came and we went out a lot. So I decided that I was going to be the kind of mom that, yeah, fuck the rules. She can sleep in the car. Let's just hang out and enjoy life, because I'm not gonna fucking train my kid when she's 4 months old. I don't care about this shit. So we enjoyed life for several months, and we met friends and we went to parks, and I had lunch with her like several times during the week in restaurants. It was amazing. We went to Disneyland when she was 2 months
Yeah.
at night.
Yes.
In the winter.
Why not?
Why not?
Fuck it.
She was fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was trying to make the best that I could for myself as well. She was doing okay, she was alive, she was being fed, she was warm, everyone was happy, and I was enjoying my life.
Right.
And then I had depression after a year,
Mm-hmm.
because I was breastfeeding her exclusively for a year, and then she started eating, and she was eating more and more, and then I decided to cut 6 feedings a day to just one in
I
December
mean
last year.
breastfeeding.
Yeah, breastfeeding.
Okay.
So that was exactly when she became 12 months old, and just this drop in breastfeeding fucked my body in a way that I would never imagine. I never had depression in my life.
Yeah.
I always lived with anxiety, which is, well, they say it's one
Kind
of the
of a-
phases of depression.
Right.
They work together, but I never had depression. I always had anxiety, which I know how to deal with for over 30 years now. It's a
It's a challenge.
It's a skill.
Yeah, because anxiety fucks you up as well. Yeah.
So you gotta just to live with it and suppress it and live the best way you can. But I never had depression.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I had it really bad. In the way, like, I would never kill myself, but I wish I could just die. I was just driving around and just like, I wish a truck just hit me.
Oh
and
my
I just,
God.
yeah.
This is crazy.
So I would never kill myself. I would never do anything to myself.
Right.
Because I'm a coward. Like, because I love life.
Yeah.
But I was just hoping, like, oh yeah, I hope I'm just driving on the 405 and the plane crashes right now. Or like,
God.
or like, I hope I have a terminal illness and people need to care for me at the hospital for months.
Damn, those are dark thoughts.
That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I think killing yourself is the most coward thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Because you just end with it. You're not facing your
But
demons, you know?
You need to be super desperate to do that.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah.
I had a taste of desperation. I don't think I've reached the point where I could do something.
Yeah.
But it's horrible. I mean, I don't believe in God or Lucifer or whatever, but if there is a hell, it's like, it's depression.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And yeah, you just there is no energy to do anything. Nothing makes sense. You're not there for your child. It's just horrible. Spoiler alert, I got better. I got medical attention. It was just a hormonal problem, really, guys. Thyroid problem. You know, it can cause depression, it can cause anxiety, it can cause panic attacks.
Oh, wow.
I had another friend that was having panic attacks, and she had just to also change the dose of her thyroid medicine, and, you know, gradually she got better. Me too.
Oh,
So,
wow.
sometimes there are simple things that you can change.
But you need to seek medical attention
You
because
need.
you had no idea it was from your thyroid,
No,
right?
no,
Yeah.
not at all. But I thought, I think I got a clue here because I just stopped breastfeeding. There must be something in my body that just triggered something like that because I was living a happy life. I had no reason whatsoever to feel bad.
Yeah.
Everything was good. My husband was helping me. My kid was developing
Amazing.
okay.
Yeah.
Everything was on track.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't see any problems. Like,
Right.
so I thought, this is an imbalance.
Something
So,
have changed
yeah,
that triggered
but
that.
because it was severe, I had to seek medical attention.
Right.
So yeah, important. Yeah, you
Yeah,
need to look for help.
Exactly. So, but again, but people sometimes feel like guilty, like, oh, I'm going to a doctor because I feel like this. No, it's just it's gonna go away. It's just a phase. I'm just, tired of my life, and I'm not getting sleep, but sometimes you need to take a step back and just think, maybe I should go to the doctor and make sure I'm okay. Because if you're not okay, you can take care of your kid, you can take care of your family, you can take care of your house.
Yeah.
And it's expected a lot from us, especially women, because, there's that misconception of, oh, the woman has to cook and clean and have the house tied up and blah, 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 blah. To be honest with you guys, I don't believe in that shit. I believe that if you're married, you're a team. You gotta work together. And one cooks, the other cleans. One does laundry, one takes the dog out in the trash. One makes the bed, one makes, the laundry. Whatever. Like, you gotta work together. Because otherwise there's not a balance. And there's gonna be conflicts, there's gonna be fights, there's gonna be a lot of shit, and all for nothing. Right? So, again, if you're not feeling well, I think it's the best option you have. Maybe tell your partner, hey, just give me a day. Can you take care of the baby just for a morning? Like, just for 4 hours. Let me go do my nails, go to the gym, or do just nothing. Just sit in your car or in your room and do nothing. If that doesn't help, go to the doctor and seek for attention, because yeah, what's the worst that can happen? You can have those thoughts like, oh my god, I wish there's a plane crashing on top of me right now. But then it doesn't solve anything. It's like a loop. So it just becomes a loop, like, yeah, I wish I would die, but I don't want to die, but then I wish I was not here, but I want to be here. You know what I mean? So it's hard because it comes with a conflict, right? A conflict of your emotions. So again, if you're not feeling well, yeah, you did great. You went to the doctor and you're like, listen, I'm not feeling well. What's going on here?
And you know what? To be fair, the day that I actually got an appointment was the best day, like in 2 months. And the coolest thing is that I had other moms there supporting me. I couldn't find an appointment in time for an actual psychologist. So I went to my gynecologist, my OB/GYN, and cause like, look, this is getting really bad. I need to see someone. So he had me in like in 1 or 2 days, and you should see the nurses talking to me there. They were just amazing, and they were all moms, and they would just hold my hand and say, "Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. It's like this." I had depression 15 months after having a baby, or I had depression for 5 months.
Wow.
Just right after I had the baby, and I talked to a nurse for over 2 hours, and she was just listening to me and being a friend, and that was the most amazing thing. The support that women that don't even know you, they're able to give.
Right.
Because women just, they give. This is what they do.
Yeah, this is
They
what
give
we
love,
do. That's why we're moms, because we just love to
amazing.
give.
So if you need help, just reach out to anyone. Anyone can.
Yeah. And sometimes it's even good. We were talking about this before we started recording, but it's also a good idea to reach out to people that you don't know at all. Like it's not part of your friend circle. You will see that person today, but never again in your life probably, because then there's no judgment coming from that person. There's nothing there. Just a page blank, like just completely white, that you don't know that person, she doesn't know you, so there's nothing in there for them to judge. And then you can just either bitch about you, about your kid, about your husband, about your life. They're gonna say, you know what, I understand you, I support you, I'm here to listen to you. And that's sometimes all you need.
Yeah.
You just need to vent.
Yeah.
Just call someone randomly, like, you know what, I need to vent, can I vent? Well, sure. And then just
there are lots of hotlines over there.
Exactly.
Out there, sorry,
yeah.
For any kinds of mental problems that you're having. So that is really great. That's another place to start with.
Yeah. Or just go to those mom groups and pick a person that you kind of click with and be like, you know what, can I just tell you something right now? And just vent away. Yeah. And the person will be like, oh, you know what, that happened to me as well. And you were sharing a story before recording. You want to share that story?
Oh yeah.
You went to a mom and you're just like, hey, this happened to me, and she's like, oh my god, that happened to me too.
Yeah. So there are lots of things that we don't know that happen to other people, and there's just so much underneath the surface, and sometimes you just let one thing out and you just get connected to someone. Mm-hmm. And that is beautiful. So I think that you should always keep an open mind about being kind-hearted and respectful to other people, because in these types of connection happen all the time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're just in the elevator or at the park, and you just have a really good connection one day with one person, and it's a magical day. So
and sometimes you become friends.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you don't. It is what it is. But yeah. No, but I mean, not especially nowadays, because we have this virus shit going on. It's even harder to see people and to connect with somebody, because again, you don't know that person, so you don't know now that they have the virus or not, so it's even harder. And I know, like, I already shared in the podcast that I had a hard time, especially the third week, because I was just here at home. We didn't see anybody for a month, and I'm a very, very social person. I need to be...
You are the most social person I know. I don't know how you managed the first month of lockdown. I felt so sorry for... I remember, imagine this, picture this.
Yeah.
The first time I saw you on camera, you were like this on the beanbag, like, I'm dying. I can't stay inside anymore. I felt so sorry for you.
It was so bad. Because I was like,
bad. Introverts were like, woo!
Right.
Party at my house, all alone. Ooh, drinking my tea, not seeing anybody. And Lili was like, ugh.
I'm like, I'm so bored. Someone take me out. I'm done. So it was really hard for me. Yeah, I mean, it was, oh my god, I don't know. Like, especially the third week. Like, the third week, it just hit me like, oh my god, I'm not seeing anybody. I'm not going to see anybody for a while. And I cried the whole week. And for me to cry, it takes a lot. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't take shit personal. I don't, I'm always happy. I'm always, like, super, like, let's go out. Let's hang out and let's do stuff. And for me to be isolated from the world, I was shocked, So the third week, like, Helder was, like, a really, really big rock for me, because I was, like, crying and just, I was like, yeah, no, it can't be like that, I almost hit the depression part. I was like, oh, if I don't pick up my pace again and start, like, talking to people, like, even calling people from, video message and stuff.
Yeah, you even disappeared. Like the lockdown was serious for
It
you.
was very serious. I disappeared from everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to start like calling people again, and like just having a video chat or stuff like that, because otherwise I'm gonna go nuts. And my husband supported me. He's like, yeah, do it. You should do that. And that's when I started calling you and stuff, because I'm like, I'm bored. I need to get out, and I can't. But then after that, I was like, you know what? It's okay. This will pass, and now,
Will
like,
it?
yeah, I don't know. We don't know. I mean, now I have
Other
this
story.
thing. No, but I have this thing in my head, like, it's gonna be here forever. So we gotta adjust our life to it. And I trust certain people that I can be with, and I'm okay with having my child and my family around. But certain people I just don't trust. And so I don't connect with them at all. And if people feel the same way about me, great. We have a great connection. That's great. Because I want people to be comfortable around us. I want people to trust us that we're doing everything we can possible to not get the virus. Because I don't want to get the virus. But if I have, and if I will, it's out of my control sometimes. So I'm trying to prevent myself and my family to not getting it. But I know you also had a hard time. So how does that impacted your life? Because like to me it was like, oh my god, the third week, oh no, and then now I'm like, I wear a mask indoors, and if I'm going to, I don't go to crowded places, but if I have to go to crowded places, I will wear a mask. I'll sanitize myself. I won't touch my face. I won't let my son touch his face. If I go to work with with the dogs, I only touch the dog, and if I touch doorknobs and stuff like that, I sanitize my hands before I take off the mask. And so I have like all this ritual kind of thing going on because of the virus. But I know for you impacted your life a little bit. It still impacts your life even today, right? So
Yeah, I had so many positive lessons actually from this experience. But yeah, at the beginning, so differently from you, I was not having a hard time at home. I was like, yay, we're staying home. We don't need to see anyone because I don't know. After Louise was born, I just had a really active social life. Like my calendar was full of stuff, like at least 4 days of the week, and I was like, this is too much for me.
Right.
And you need to keep up with friends. You cannot let anyone down, and you got stuff to do and yoga and whatever the fuck it is. And then and I had my mother-in-law here for 2 months, and I was like, I don't want to see anyone. That's perfect. But every time that I went out, if I had to do groceries or do like an emergency errand somewhere, I would just cry when I was outside, because when I saw the situation that we were in, I got super emotional. Yeah. Like when I saw empty shelves at supermarkets, I would just cry. Sometimes I even reserved a few minutes in the car. Like when I got to the supermarket, I just sat in my car for 2 minutes. I cried, then I put my mask and went in, because it was, I don't know, I just felt so sensitive. I felt like
it wasn't real, huh? It
yeah.
felt like, are we in
Just
a
felt like
movie
a
or something?
nightmare. I just felt sorry for everyone. It wasn't about me. It was like, look at us.
Right.
Look at where we are. It is just so sad. So yeah, that hit me really hard. But at home, we were doing okay. We were trying to hang on. And then let me see what else. Yeah, and so the important lessons. So the most important lesson is that I learned that transparency is the most important thing in all friendships and relations, and that you gotta respect other people's time and understanding of things. Yeah. So when we started to open up a little bit and meeting people, there I had so many levels of different kinds of meetings and people that I would meet in different circumstances and different places. That it even got hard to keep track of all the different levels of engagement that I would have to people. Um, but that was kind of fun actually, because you just put out there what are your expectations, and what is your level of confidence in the situation, and you just uh, and I just felt so good to know that people were open to share, what they were doing as well.
Yeah.
So we had to share, oh, I went to the grocery store this day, oh, I went to the doctor's office this day, so maybe let's wait a week, or maybe I saw that friend that I don't know that much about that friend, so maybe we should wait 5 other days before we see each other.
Yeah.
So I thought that this transparency was really really nice. I started to not that I learned to trust my friends even more after that, and I thought that was just lovely, like to
Yeah, kind of having like an agreement between
Yeah.
the friends, like, okay, if you go here or you see other people that I don't kind of know, please let me know, right? And I felt the same thing, like, I, especially in the beginning when we started seeing people as well, like, I felt like having those boundaries with people that I trust was the most wonderful thing ever, because then I could really, really trust the person, be like, okay, if you're going to the doctor's office, I'm okay with that, but let me know and we'll wait a few days or a week or something like that, just in case you got it. And that way, like you said, we could respect people even more, and that's yeah, I felt the same thing.
Yeah, and even our friends that are not ready to meet us.
Right.
So we're like in month 4 already, month 5.
Yeah.
I lost count.
Right
I don't
now?
know.
Right now, I think
It
we're a
feels like
year or
month,
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like month 8. But we have friends that are not ready to, not even to go to a social distancing picnic with masks or a walk, or just do a drive-through. And it's fine. And I just respect these people even more, because they don't need to go with the flow. They just trust their own instincts. And people are ready when they're ready.
Yeah.
To do whatever they want safely and responsibly.
Right.
um,
I mean, we can't rush people to do whatever they want. I mean, ultimately it's their decision to do whatever they want. But I feel like yeah, so some people are just so I right now. So we went to the beach today, okay, and it was pretty empty. Like, it was a couple of people in there, but not a lot, and everybody was keeping their distance, and we were keeping our distance from everybody else's as well. And I feel like some people take this very, very, very seriously, but some people just take it like, it's nothing. And it pisses me off when I see someone that doesn't take it serious at all, and they just, not that it happened to me, but like they just pass on, like, right next to you with no mask, and they're totally fine with that. And I'm like, bitch, are you fucking real? Like, what's going on here? Like, the virus is still there,
that happens to me a lot, and then I just start running with my arms like
Yeah, like,
get away from me.
exactly. Or like people that are like, hey, do you want to grab a bite? I'm like, yeah, at my house. I'll grab a bite at my place. Like, no, let's go to a restaurant. No, we're in the middle of a fucking pandemic. Like, we're not gonna go to the restaurants. Are you crazy? Like, what the hell's going on? I'll do a drive-through. That's fine. But like, going into a restaurant? No way. Well, but they have outside I don't care. I don't care if they have outside seating. I don't care if people are 3 tables apart. I don't care. I don't want to go inside anything that I don't need. It's like going to a grocery store. It's fine. I need some shit. Now I started going there. And the first time I went with you to some places, and it didn't hit me as hard because I was with you, so I was kind of distracted. But the second time I went to a store and I was just by myself, it hit me so hard. I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Oh, that's right, the virus is still there. I was wearing a mask and everybody else was wearing a mask. But then, those visors or whatever that shit is called, and people just sanitizing. And
Do you know what? My friend told me that she just started driving lessons again, And she told me that the thing that they use on the supermarkets
Uh-huh.
to separate the customer and the
Yeah.
attendant,
Yeah.
they have those things in the cars
Oh, wow.
between the driver and the person providing the lessons,
Wow.
the instructor.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
That's, wow.
Then I
That's
just
insane.
thought, what happens if the car crashes and then all that? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I
It's-
think
it's
I
just
think
crazy.
the driver's instructor, the cars, like the instructor cars, they have pedals on the passenger
Yeah.
side, right?
Yeah.
So if anything happens, he can brake or something like that.
Yeah.
So I
Just imagine like a shield of acrylic plastic,
oh my
like near you.
God,
It's
yeah.
not even safe. Like just saying, it's. You know what I mean?
How
People
do
need
they
to
deal
adapt.
with like yeah? I mean here it's automatic cars, but even like how do you
I don't know.
change the
Maybe
gear?
we need to enroll to a class and see.
Be like, excuse me, can I just see how the car looks? I just want to see. I'm not gonna touch anything though. But that's amazing.
Yeah, this is the point that we've reached. Just imagine separating people inside the fucking car. Have you ever thought about?
Wow, no,
Yeah, it is.
that is yeah,
This is
man.
the
You
ultimate level.
just blew my mind. You just blew my mind now.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, man. I mean, again, like I said, there's people that take this very seriously, like to this point of craziness. But I mean, I guess if you wear a mask inside the car, like the car has a lot of space between people,
I don't
right?
know.
But
I don't know.
I'm
I don't know
not
anything
sure.
about virus spreading. I'm
Yeah.
not a scientist.
But you know
so-
what? Even now, like I won't take lessons inside cars and stuff like that. You know, because I'm pretty sure that if you are inside a cubicle,
Yeah.
shit's gonna go down, you know, like something's gonna happen, like getting into an airplane, no fucking way. I want to go back home, yes, I'm homesick, yes, but I don't think I can deal with that right now. And those places freak me out. But like going to a grocery store, you know, there's air circulating, you know, there's they sanitize everything, whatever, like, but man, I never thought about that. You just blew my mind.
I know.
Wow, that's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Oh well, but yeah. So I know you had like ups and downs, even with me. Like we were like, oh, I'm gonna see this person, and probably I won't see you for a week or two, and then we kind of got into a break. Between us, and then we did the social distancing walking, and then we start kind of seeing each other every week.
We tried every kind of interaction that we could during this pandemic.
Yeah, but I think for me it was really, really hard when we did the distancing walking, because I consider you as my best friend here, or one of my best friends. And to me, not like it sounds weird, guys, but like to me, not touching you, not hugging you, not having that emotional connection, because I'm a very huggy person, and not having that, it felt like our friendship was kind of falling apart. And I'm like, I can't be like this, because it's not our friendship that's falling apart, it's just this fucking virus that still is here, and we are concerned of passing it to each other. I don't want to put you in bed with fever for 5 days, and you don't want to do the same to me. So it was hard for me to face that part. And when I came home that day that we did the walk, I was like,
I didn't know.
hold on.
Big revelations today.
Yes. I'm like, I
Uh,
felt something really weird with her today. It was hard.
I felt many weird things with all my friends during this period.
Yeah.
And especially, but this is why I warned everyone, like, guys, I'm gonna change opinions every week. Don't mind me. I'm navigating through this. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open up and then close down, open up, close down. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna navigate how I feel that week.
Yeah.
And this is the only thing that I can assure. Every week is gonna be different.
But that's fine too,
but
you know,
it's
like
fine.
as long as you, again, as long as you are honest
Yeah.
with everybody that you're trying to see or want to see, that's amazing. And that's what I like the best in our relationship and other friends, because we had to be completely honest and just be open book and be like, hey, I had my handyman here at home, like, hey, I can't see you guys for a week because the handyman's coming. I don't know if he has something or not. Luckily, he didn't have anything because I didn't catch anything. But, I could be what is it called? Anti-symptomatic?
Yeah, asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic, there you go. And, maybe I had the virus and I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's just, everything is just so new. And, like, for the kids, it's even harder because, like our kids, they love each other, and when they see each other they just want to play together and hang out and even hug each other and stuff like that. And your daughter calls my son all the time, and my son loves your daughter as well. So it's like, it's hard to tell them, like, guys, just no, you can't, right? So that's how I'm like, oh my god, this, it's so hard.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard.
So this is one of the battles that I said, you know what, we cannot do distancing with these two kids.
No.
So yeah, there are risks that you need to assume and just be open about it, and then you just gotta protect other people from it.
Yeah.
So this is why I don't meet anyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. So it's not. It's more because of me, because I already elected someone and it's gonna be my person to meet. So
thank you.
Yeah. So yeah. So this is why I distance from other people.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But did you had any, like, did you feel or felt any, like, a little bit of, like, a depression because you weren't seeing anybody, or you were just like, I kind of like this, like, being at home and just not have anything to do and just not have to deal with traffic and hours to be here or there, or because when this virus wasn't here, like, you said you have the schedule, like, oh, for 5 days I'm gonna see this person in the afternoon and the morning and blah 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 blah, and then from one day to the other, like, we're cutting everybody out, we're staying home, we're done, and did you have like a thing of like, I kind of want to see or have my life back or something? Because I had that. I was like, I want my life back. I want to put my kid in swimming classes again. I want to do this and that, go to Disneyland, go here, go there. But I can't. That's why the third week was such a conflict with me, because I'm like, I want to do this stuff, but I can't. And, because you were like, oh, let's see how this week I feel, and, stuff like that. Did you have that?
No, not at all. But it's just because we live through different phases of our lives. So
yeah.
You've been here in the U.S. for 8 years? What?
8 years this month.
8 years?
Yeah.
And I've just been here for 3 years. So it's been very recent. So I already had to give up on lots of things many times in my life, because we are a mobile family. So who knows where we're gonna live in the next 10 years.
That's true.
So I know this is at least my third time giving up on a previous lifestyle or life or whatever, or routine or job and everything, in my previous me. So this time around, so I moved here in 2017. 16.
16. Is it gonna be 4 years?
I don't know. Okay.
It's fine. Whatever.
And I had to quit my job. I cannot work here. So my life was already impacted by all this.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that much to lose with the lockdown and the social distancing. It didn't impact me that much, because I think the hardest lessons from changing the lifestyle already happened to me several other times. So this time was like, what? I just need to stay at home. Yeah, I can do with that. So yeah, no, no,
Yeah, I
we're
think
not on the same page in that.
yeah, I think you're right because, like you said, I've been here for 8 years in the U.S. and I had such a big circle of friends and like my life was structured to the point that I could do a lot of stuff every day and stuff because ever since I had my son I stopped working and I became a full-time stay-at-home mom and like every day I had something to do because otherwise I'll go bunkers. I hate staying home and I hated staying home even before the pandemic, and so that on top of everything that happens as well. Like I hate staying home. I have to stay home, so it's a conflict of being like not okay with that, and but again I think because I've been here for quite a long time and I'm kind of settled here. I'm like that impacted a lot to me. Yeah, I think you're right about that, but I mean, let's stop talking about the virus. Let's just go back to your daughter and talk about like, was there ever like a period of time that you're just like, oh my god, I'm gonna give up on this because there's no point. Like you just like, uh, why did I even became a mom? Was that a time that you felt like, I don't want this no more. Like I'm tired. I'm done.
I gave up on a lot of things since she was born, but never on her. Oh, like, making a heart
Oh.
shape with my uh, um, I just, man, yeah, wow. I just tripping like.
Yeah.
Um,
Going back into those deep memories. I love it. I love it.
um, yeah, well, to start with, okay, let's get an example. There's so many rule books and and expectations from other people of things that you should do, and of course in the first few months when you have a baby you try to follow this stuff because you don't have anything else to follow, like you don't know what to do, so you start walking through other people's
Examples.
trails, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good, you're supposed to do that. You need to try things and see if they fit your reality or not.
Right.
But I gave up on a lot of stuff that I just thought there is no point in doing this. This is just torture for me. And I don't know if I'm right, but this is something that I always tell everyone. I don't know, might be some cheap philosophy, but it works for me. That you either ruin your life trying to train your kid to do something, or you just ruin your life not training your kid. Like either way, it's gonna be hard either way. Like if you choose to not sleep train your kid until they're 3 years old, oh, you're fucked. But you're not wasting time training that kid, so maybe you got some good nights of sleep with your kid sleeping on your bed with you. I don't know, it's fine, whatever you feel is comfortable for you. So this is one thing that I learned, that one system doesn't fit every family, and luckily I learned that in the first year, so I let go of judgment and expectations, so that was very helpful for me, because I was the kind of person that bought 6 brands of baby bottles and
Oh, wow.
different nipples and whatever the fuck you can imagine, and my kid just wouldn't drink the bottle, so I thought, okay, fuck the bottle.
Right.
I just thought this is a problem that I'm not gonna have later. Oh no, I lied. Now she drinks the bottle, this motherfucker. She's a year and a half.
Now she drinks it.
Motherfucker. It's like, why did I give it to her when she was like 9 months old?
Yeah.
Stupid. Anyway, and sleep training, I didn't do it before she was... Okay, I tried to train her to nap when she was 5 months. I don't remember how that go. But
It's funny. You forget about stuff,
I
huh?
have no idea, you know.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, yeah. I was a bit nervous, and you said, "Oh, I'm gonna interview you to talk about, you know, child stuff." I was like, if I remember something from this fog that has been my life for a year,
Yeah.
maybe I can remember something. Anyway, but you know, just recently she started sleeping by herself. Like when she turned 12 months was actually when I started to put her to sleep by herself without help of breastfeeding. And just this year, uh, she went to nap by herself, and she's like 1 year and a half now. So you know, it took me a while to do stuff because the other stuff was working for me before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a bit upset when people told me, "Oh, you're still doing that." Like, "Oh, but your child's gonna be like that when she's 2 or 4." And I'm like, "Yeah, you don't know." You know, because kids change and sometimes our methodologies at home change. So yeah, I really didn't like when people told me like, "Yeah, you're just like you're too lazy to do something that other people do." Like, and I was like, you know, and you know, I think I'm in the midterm. I'm not the kind of person that lets my child sleep with me, so I don't do co-sleeping. But I also didn't train her to sleep like very early. Like I went there every fucking 2 hours for months, you know, and I breastfed her at night, which the pediatrician said don't do, just give her water or just tap tap shush shush. I didn't do it. I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna give her a bit of milk and she's gonna sleep. Like, what's the problem? The problem is that you just elongate, you just you just postpone the things that you need to do. I mean,
Yeah.
you choose when you're ready to do stuff, right?
Right.
So that was an important lesson for me, and luckily I figured out that shit. But yeah, the first 4 months I was such a victim of opinions and self-critic. It was horrible. So I remember the day, I think it was 19th of April, 19th of May last year, where I just sat on the bathroom, like I locked the door. I was like, I need to figure my life. Like, what kind
Wow,
of
you remember the date?
I remember it was a
Jesus.
fucking historical day for me.
Wow.
Like, because that was the day when I don't even remember the month, but I remember
The date.
The
The
date.
specific date.
That was when I thought I gotta figure out what kind of mom I'm gonna be, what kind of friends I want to have by my side, what kind of critics I want to take, if I'm gonna become a victim of everything that I hear, if I'm gonna take everything personally. You know, I was very vulnerable at that time, and I suffered so much from all this like external voices.
Yeah, the social.
Yeah, books, Instagram, friends, people that I didn't even know. Everything was attacking me. But I'm also very susceptible for that. So I was, I just took that. I shouldn't have, but now I know.
We learn from our mistakes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's the best thing that can happen to a human being, right? Like,
Yeah.
you learn from your mistakes and errors, and you move forward. And if you don't, you'll get depressed, or you'll get, really down, and you're fucked, basically. But if you learn from your mistakes, and most importantly, learn from other people's mistakes,
Yeah.
that's the way to go. And like, I never took any critics at all. Like, my mom tried once when I started like feeding my son a little bit of bread and stuff, when he was started eating solids, and mom was like, "Oh my god, that's too much, it's too big, he's gonna choke." And I said, "Listen, I'm not taking this shit. He's my son. If I want to kill him right now, I'll do it. He's mine, okay? Don't ever say anything ever again."
Oh, man.
And she never said anything ever again. And I never let anybody do that. My mother-in-law tried, and you know what I did? Never sent her any message ever again, or photos or anything like that, because she always points out shit that she wants to see that he's being deficient at. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take that. So I'm not going to even send you any pictures. I'm not going to reply to you. We're done. And now she respects me. And nobody tells me anything. Sometimes if I ask people like, hey, what kind of, bottles you use, or like any, stuff that you use for the kid, like colors. What do you do for colors, for example? People are like, oh, I tried this and that, like, it worked. I'm like, okay. If I feel the mood of doing it, I'll do it. But I don't take stuff from people that are just like, oh, you should try that. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to try that. Thank you very much. I'm very much like that. Maybe I shouldn't, because sometimes I regret to be like this. I don't take shit from anybody, but, I'm like,
yeah, but you can do like, we should do like a something in between. Like we can tell people, oh, that's so nice, thank you, and then you can think, yeah, fuck you.
Exactly. That's exactly what I do.
We're gonna do that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
More respectful.
Yeah. Or if I'm giving somebody a little advice, I'll be like, hey, take it or leave it. Okay, I don't take it personal, but this is how I did it. Like potty training, for example. That was a friend of that we know, right? And she didn't want to take the advice. I was like, you know what? Take it or leave it. I don't care. I could fucking care less about the child that you're talking about. If you want to do whatever I think it's best for the kid, do it. If you don't, it's on you, You want to take this longer, take it longer. And a lot of people have come to me and asked me about potty training, because my son took potty training really easily. I was surprised that he did that. In 2 months, he's done. Like, even at night. And, for boys, it's harder. Because they have this, I don't know, they're scared of the toilet for someone. I don't know. It's just boys. And he took it really, really well. And it surprised me even. And then people come to me like, how did you do that? And I'm like, yeah, I just took the diaper off. And I said, no more diapers. Never put a diaper on him ever again unless we were in the car or at night. And that's it. And he took it. And I always told him, let me know if you have to go potty. You have to go potty, let me know. And then he started saying pee pee and poo poo. And so I would put him in the potty when he said the word. And that was it. And then a lot of people are like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try the, 3-day potty training, which is like, put him in a diaper. Yeah, there's a 3-day potty training. I don't know. There's a book about it.
Okay.
I'll ask the person that told me about it. But basically the book says, whatever I did. So take the diaper off, and then just say, oh, pee in a diaper is bad, blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, come on. You put them in diapers since day one. And then when they're like, I don't know, a year and a half, you say pee and poopy in a diaper is bad. It's kind of controversial, right? It's like later on, if you want your kid to trust you, he's gonna be like, well, but you said diapers were bad, and I was in diapers, and then, like, what's...
This is, okay, it's about the topic, but also it's not. It's
No, it's fine.
So there is something, I need to do some research about it. I don't know the answer. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
So maybe I can do the research and send it to you. I was wondering, I don't know, how old Louise was when I started thinking about it. Like, but how do native tribes or native groups do with kids? Like, they just let it.
Yeah, my guess is just let them run wild with that open. And
it's fine. So, like in South America, I can see them because they don't need to wear clothes because it's tropical.
Exactly.
But like what people do, like in North America, what they used to do, because nowadays everyone is very modern and they have,
right.
But like, or in Siberia,
or but what
like they just put the baby like in lots of cloth, and then every time they poop they just wash it.
Yeah, so and don't go that far, because when I was baby, when I was a baby 31 years ago, I don't know about you, but probably the same thing. We had cloth diapers.
Oh yeah.
You know, the actual diapers that we have right now, they were fucking expensive, and my parents couldn't afford it. So I even had the biggest rash in the entire world, that my down parts were in like the skin was out completely, so it was like blood everywhere, and like yeah, it was horrible. And my parents had to fetch for doctors and doctors and doctors to like try to cure me, because there was no cure, and everything was very expensive. So there was this thing that, like, it was a little pill that will drop. You put it in water, like you drop it in the water, and it will turn purple. I still remember the color. Like, I was a baby, but then
Yes.
later on, I still kept on doing it. And then my parents had to wash me with that. And I would scream bloody murder because he hurt me as hell. I was a baby. I don't remember the pain. But up until today, I cannot wear laced underwear because it itches me. So even if I know it's too much information, guys, but if I even shave down there, I have to wear like totally like complete cotton underwear, because otherwise it just itches me completely. I cannot wear anything rather than 100% cotton. So, and that came because of the cloth diapers, because I was wet, and then that, like, going like the friction of the wet in the skin caused my skin to start, going bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, I will show you a picture when I'll go back home.
Please
And
don't.
yeah,
Okay.
dude, it was horrible.
Man.
Like, fully, like, blood. Like, it was horrible. So yeah, like, before, like, there were no diapers. They were just like cloths. And like, obviously when you're a baby, you can't control your bladder and your bowel movements, so it's like,
Yeah. No, but it was. But I imagine that the kids that live in tropical places, and they belong to groups that have more like of a traditional knowledge, and they live by other standards. I think they just start
yeah, they just let it go.
going to the potty like way earlier, and it feels more natural. Because I
Yeah.
don't think that I don't think animals in general, they don't poop where they eat, they don't poop where they sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that it's natural for humans either, to poop in their bed,
Right. Yeah.
So I guess that kids that have this advantage of not wearing anything, they just start. I think that once they start walking, they already choose to poop really far away from.
Yeah.
I don't know. I imagine.
Yeah, because there's some kids that they actually hide to go and do their stuff. Yeah.
This is what's going on with Louise.
Yeah. So they hide, they go into a corner, they do what they have to do, and then they come out like
She
super
only
happy.
poops when I close the door.
Yeah, see? For example. And another thing that happens is that when you're potty training, or like even trying like the start of it, just take your kid with you. I know it's very weird and they're not going to leave your side, but take your kid with you and be like, "Oh, see, like, I'm doing it. This is how you're supposed to do as well." And so they see you, like, the stream of the pee just going down, and then let them flush the toilet, so they don't get like weirded out with the noise and stuff, and just be like, "Yeah, this is normal. This is what you do. Let daddy do the same thing." And so they see both like doing it, and they'll be like, "Ah, I want," because we're the models, right? So if we model them to be like, they copy everything we say, everything we do, everything that we're not even looking at them, but they're just looking at us. They copy everything. Today I caught Leon doing like, "Mama," like clapping his hands because I wasn't paying attention. He called me, but I was trying to ignore him because when he's eating, he's very, very annoying. He's always calling us, and I'm like, "No, eat your food." And so because I was like trying to ignore him, he clapped his hands like, "Hey, I'm talking to you." That's what I do to him. So he's like, "Hey," so I'm like, yeah, they see everything. They copy everything. So if you take them to the bathroom with you and they see you like wiping yourself and stuff like that, that's the best you can do, because now he can wipe himself. He can, do everything.
Oh, he can wipe himself.
Yeah, he wipes himself. He's very proud of it. He asks for the paper to wipe his weenie, and then the wipe to wipe his bottom. And yeah, it's incredible, like how he's the one asking for it, even, because he sees us doing. So tip, guys, if you if you want to do the potty training thing, yeah, just let him see you. And yeah, so if she does hide, that's a good opportunity for you to be like, what are you trying to do? And then just grab her and put her in the potty. Because that something's going to happen, even if it's just a pee-pee, and it's a good idea to do that.
Yeah, I think hopefully this is going to be just one of those things that it's inevitable. It's going to happen at this age. And I'm so lucky that from our group of friends here, I'm the last one to have the baby. So we're usually a few months behind you guys, so I can see whatever everyone is doing and just say, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've been very lucky.
You have all the examples. Yeah, no, for sure. And that's good. And also about this podcast, like, it's going to help, hopefully it's going to help a lot of other people to just pick whatever, guess I have, and just be like, okay, this is good, I'm going to adopt that, and this is bad, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to do anything like that. Or that's the reason, also the reason why I want to do this, to help other people out there that they're struggling with their kid on doing this or that, or like just they're pregnant and they don't know what to expect, because we're all different, and some pregnancies go really, really well, some pregnancies go really, really bad, and some others, they just go up and down, and then when the kid is born, mom's like, oh, fuck this shit, I don't want to deal with it. Or the mom is like, oh, I love my child, I'm going to protect it, and dad has nothing to do with it. It happens. I mean, it is what it is. But, I mean, being a parent in general, it's a big challenge. It's just like, oh my God. I never thought that this, I love it. I love being a mom and being around my kid, but like, sometimes it gets too much. It gets to the point I'm like, I kind of need a break from you. And that's why Leon just started daycare. Because I'm like, yeah.
I never, I never believed like these testimonials of people saying, oh, being a mom is so hard, but it's so, like, what is it? But it's the best job ever, but it's so hard. I was like, what are you bitching about? It's just a kid. Like, they have, they're just like, what, 50 centimeters, maybe 10 kilos. You can deal with this beast. It's nothing. This is nothing.
Give them some toys.
Yeah, just give them some food. I had no idea, like, why these people bitch so much about it. And then I became a mom and I was like, oh.
I get it now.
Like, okay,
I understand
respect you. I respect you.
Yeah, I understand all of you now. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I've been there, done that. Well, actually doing that, but yeah. No, but it's so funny because, yeah, I'm the same way. I was like, well, why? Like, they're so easy. Like, just give them toys and food and, it'll be fine. Like, just let them play. But no, like, my son is so needy that I'm like, oh, God. And then now that he talks, like, mama, 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 all the time, especially in the car. Mama, toot truck. Mama, this, mama, that. I'm like, oh, can you shut the fuck up for a second? Thank God I'm going to drop you off, but it's not like I don't love my child. Obviously, I love him to pieces. Like, he's part of me. But I know it's a very selfish thing to say, but it is true. Like, it's a part of you. But it's just like, I need a break. I need to breathe. I need to be able to go to the toilet and do number 2 in peace. That I can't do when you're inside the house. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, or grabbing a glass of water. Sometimes I can't even do that. My bottled water goes empty in, 2 hours or not even that. And I can't even refill it because he just needs me to do something with him. I'm like, oh God, I'm so thirsty. I can't even get up because you want me here, and it's exhausting. It's like by 10 p.m. or so, or even earlier sometimes, I'm like, I'm done. I just want to go to sleep. And then I don't have time for my husband. I don't have time for my dog. And, it just becomes this overwhelming thing that I'm just like, I need a break.
I think the hardest part for me, because my child, like, she's very tame. Like, she's a good kid. Like, not that much to complain about her. But I got so much to do at home, because it's from breakfast to doing the dishes after dinner. Like, all the stuff is on me. My husband works all day. To be fair, he's a good guy, but they could always help a little bit more. But I think what kills me now is this cycle of, especially with COVID, right? Because things get way more boring than before. Because at least before you had an excuse to be out the whole day and just eat out. Like, I cannot eat out. I cannot go to the restaurant. So even if I have takeaway, I bring it home. Everyone eats. I need to clean all the dishes, clean the table. So it just never stopped and repeats all day. It's just so weird. Sometimes, well, like everyone else, I don't know which day is it, but like, I get lost in the tasks. Like, oh, didn't I already wash the dishes? No, wait, that was yesterday. Like, it was last dinner. It was not. It's not this dinner. So this is what is annoying me the most, because I know that the kids eventually they're gonna play by themselves at a certain point. So if there is a day that she's really bothering me, I think, like, it's fine. She just wants my attention, but this is gonna be over in 2 years. She's gonna play in her room, like, by herself. Possibly, if I let her, on her tablet for 7 hours, like,
Right.
really silent. So I try to put that in perspective when I get annoyed by her. But for me, it's mostly the house that is annoying me, not the kids.
Yeah, it's like you said, the day just repeats and repeats and repeats, and you don't even know if it's the weekend, if it's Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. You don't know. You're like, wait, today's what? Oh, it's Monday. Okay, and like, it's just, yeah, I totally get it, because the days are start blending in together, and there's no way of knowing that. Well, unless, like you said, our husbands work all day, pretty much, and during the week, right? But my husband even works on a weekend sometimes on his own stuff. So I'm like, I don't even know if he's working for his company or if he's working on his stuff, And I'm like, like, I don't know, man. It's so weird. And then when I ask him to do something, hey, let's go out, and today's Saturday, for example, let's just go to the beach, or I don't know, let's go to a park or something. And he's still working, so he's like, oh, give me some time, and just need to do this and that. And I'm like, but wait, what day is it today again? Like, it just, it's like, it's very weird. I totally know what you mean. And then again, like, breakfast, dinner, like, everything repeats every single day. It's always the same thing, and especially because we're home, like, we do certain things at a certain time every day, and like, oh man, when is this nightmare's gonna end? Because you can do that much stuff right now, and
But at least I know that. Well, I suppose you're feeling like a more productive member of society now that you are back to work and you got your own business.
yeah,
Because I just feel like I have no confidence, because now it's been 3 years that I haven't worked for anyone.
right,
So yeah, on top of motherhood, so I had my brain just melted the last year. I don't think if that I'm able to do any kind of job now. Uh, and that is really weird. Just like, well, I'm so tired now, because what time is it already? Woo, we've been working the whole day, and
yeah,
I don't know where I am anymore. I just feel like totally useless and not able to do whatever I was doing before being a mom. And that is such a bummer because I don't know where to start. Possibly gonna have to start as an intern again.
Yeah. No,
at
I don't.
35.
No, you know, if you have like a background and stuff, you'll be fine. You'll be okay. It's just a matter of picking up again the pace of going to work and do stuff um like right now because he's going back to daycare. My son, I mean, like I'm gonna start like organizing my stuff back again because I'm still disorganized on all my clients and stuff. I know everybody's names, I know where they live and stuff like that, but I don't have it in paper, and that's important to for the business even, and like how much people paid me and stuff like that, because having your own business, it's nice, it's great because you can just do your hours and you manage your schedule and you manage what you want to do, what you want to see and stuff like that. But like the organization part is so boring, and like I have to go back to whenever I started with that person to see how much she paid me until today, and
You're gonna
it's
be your own manager and your own secretary, and
yeah. Luckily, I don't have that many clients that I have to manage. For now, I have like pretty much like 5 or 6, like, because I can do one every day pretty much. But like yeah, it's so boring, the organization part. But you know, this is one of the reasons I wanted to have my own stuff, because I don't feel like working for anybody right now, because I don't want to give up on having the time with my kid, and have that ability to be like, okay, I can't do tomorrow at 10 a.m., but I can do it at 6 p.m. Are you okay with that? And they'll be like, no, or
and
yes.
you can still see your friends, which is amazing.
Yes, I can see my friends. I can
have weekends for family.
Weekends, go to the beach if I want to go to the beach, go to the pool. Well, pools are closed, but if I want to go to the pool, I go to the pool. And if I want to see a client, I'll see a client. You know what I mean? So I can manage my time, and that for me right now, it's so important, because you can work and have the money that you want, but time is priceless. Like, you won't get that time back anywhere else, or there's no money to pay that time back. You know what I mean?
I think it's good to have time if you got the people to spend it with, like a kid, because they need another kind of time.
Yeah.
That you cannot have with adults.
Yeah.
So before I moved here, I was working full time, and from waking up and getting home, it was 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Shift, let's say. And I lived super far from work. And on the weekends, instead of just chilling out, I would do more stuff. And that actually just gave me like all the fuel that I need to keep going. Because, I lived in the big city, and I met with lots of important people there. And, I had the option to go to museums and go to movies and to theaters and go to bars every day. I was a bit shy to say it. Yeah, every night. You just leave work and you go to the pub, and then it's.
Yeah, but you had no kids, and you were.
No kids.
Yeah.
And then the last time you have, it's like how do you say? It's like the value that you have. The less time that you have, you're more valuable. You know what I mean?
You value it the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got friends, you got work, you are acknowledged by society. Like, you have a status, like, oh, I'm so busy, I have so much to do. Like,
right.
Like when you are in your 20s, early 30s, right? When you're in your prime.
Yeah.
So that was special for me. And now, like, I got all the time in the world, and I got nothing important going on. It's just a bit depressing.
Yeah,
um,
yeah. But on the other hand, you have your kid that keeps you
yeah,
busy, and
yeah,
sometimes you just have to put your phone down, for example, and be like, you know what, I'm gonna take an hour or two to just be with you, and play with you whatever you want to play and pretend play and do coloring or whatever it is, but just being with them, and that's very important to them, like, and to us, like, again today he went to the daycare for the first time in the morning, then we came home, he took his nap, and then we went to the beach. And taking him to the beach, the whole family went. He was like so happy. Like you should have seen him in the water, like just jumping and like trying to swim, and like his laughs. I've never heard him laugh like that. He was so happy. And I was like, you know what? This is what's going on. This is the important part of his life. It's us. It's us being together, united as a family, and just spending time with him without phones, without, thinking about hours and like, oh, you need a snack, or you need to go party, or you need this or that. Nothing, just us there.
yeah.
And nothing else important matters anymore.
This is the best part of the pandemic now is our kids' smiles, like, and
Yeah.
the silly things that they do. This is the best gift that we could ever have. Because sometimes I think, yeah, if I didn't have a kid, I would be playing video games the whole day and just riding my bicycle, getting drunk, smoking some weed, I guess.
And that's yeah.
Watching movies and maybe reading all those books, um, which is also nice. Not gonna lie. Um, but when I see her trying to make her own jokes, that's fucked up. It's like,
Yeah, that's
this is
so
worth
funny.
the whole day. Like, even if I had to do dishes 3 times and fold clothes for hours, just to see her like trying to be funny and just laugh like, haha, I gotcha. It's like, it's the most wonderful thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Like seeing their little personalities
Yeah.
coming out, right? Like my son is very, very goofy, and so when sometimes he makes like a face and a laugh, like ha ha
I
ha,
know.
and I'm like, oh my god, dude, you're hilarious. Like you're just hilarious. But I can't. It's too much cuteness sometimes, and sometimes I just want to kill him. But that's what it is. I mean, not kill him, but like, be like, oh, I'm so tired of you. But that's part of being a mom, I guess. I'm sure our moms had the same fare of like being like, oh, you're so annoying but you're so cute at the same time. So, and we turned out to be okay, so I guess it's fine to just sometimes be like, oh, you're so annoying, but then you're fine, you're cute, I love you. um Anyways, this is extending for a little bit, but I want to ask you a last, well, I just want to ask you one question. So I've been trying to ask people that I do the podcast with. It's the only question that it's kind of important to me to know, and it can be a joke as well. But like what I call it the three lesson question. So, what are the 3 lessons that you want to pass on to your kid? Like the 3 life lessons that you want to.
Okay, let me see. Um,
I know it's very narrow down, but
no, first of them, it's very technical, very like old fashioned.
okay, let's do it.
Man, I want to tell her everything about different kinds of professions that she can have in her life. This is so hard. Like, I suffer, trying to figure out what I wanted to be in my life, and also how I could get there. There's so many things that a person can do, and they don't need to go to university. Like, that's the only thing that my family, my friends, and everyone in my city thought it was like the deal. You need to go to university, and then you need to work for the government. There is no other way. Like,
Oh wow.
this is how you manage your life. Otherwise, you're a loser. So this is how I learned that life had to proceed. And I feel it's just so sad because, like, you can be an artist, and if you are an artist, you don't need to paint with oil and brushes. You can
Right.
be a digital artist. Like, you can do like finish it.
Yeah.
You know, so I really want her to be happy in something that she likes to do, more or less, like, because we don't need to love our jobs, we just need to barely, you know,
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
That's
like
good
wake up in the morning and be
Yeah.
okay with it at
Yeah,
least.
exactly.
Yeah.
and have the know-how to do some personal work, or have some hobbies. Yeah. So I want to teach her how to have a balance between professional and personal life. This is something that took me years to find out. You know. Anyway, the other thing is, I want her to know that I want her to have a lighter take on life. Like, I felt like, so far you can see that all the things that I want to teach her, like, are things that I suffered. So let's see if I'm not gonna push too much on her.
Yeah.
Let's see how that goes. But I just want her to know that life can be a little bit lighter. She doesn't have to expect that much from herself. I know it's hard during teenage years. I suffered a lot from that as well. I just want her to be happy, and also be confident about the person that she wants to be. And I want her to have good friendships, you know, and yeah, just live light.
Yeah.
And what would be the third thing? I think these are are very important. These two are cover everything. But let me see. I think that. Oh yes, please just remember something really important. I want to teach her to respect the environment and all life forms. So even if she doesn't want to be a biologist and save the world like Mama, you know, at least I would love her to. No, I was going to say that she loved plants or something, but I know that you have a trauma with having to take care of plants, so I'm gonna try not to do that.
Just be respectful of
not force her to water plants. Okay, that is good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I have a really good trauma. Yeah. My mom used to, I have to share it now because my mom used to tell me, and I mean, kind of force me to water the plants and tell me to go and talk to them. And I'm like, I thought, well, I was a teenager, obviously, and I thought that was so fucking ridiculous. I'm like, why am I talking to something that does not reply? You know, like, to me it was crazy. And then she never talked about it. And then years later, I think it was you that even told me, like, yeah, because of the
it's a theory, but it's good.
Yeah, so like whatever comes out of your mouth, or carbon dioxide or whatever it is, comes out of your mouth, makes them grow, or like makes, you know, helps them grow. And I'm like, oh, that's why we have to talk to plants. I came to find out of that years later. Like, if I had known that, if my mom was like, okay, listen, this is why you have to water the plants and talk to them at the same time. Because this, like, that will be mind-blowing to me. I'm like, oh, I'll water the plants every day, you know, probably. But no, she always forced me to do that, like that sequence. Water the plants and talk to them at the same time. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And she wanted me to water plants pretty much every week. And sometimes I'm like, I did already. It's done. And I completely forgot. And then the plant will die. I'm like, oh, see? It doesn't work. She died. It did. I talked to them. I told you the same. You know, I was kind of a mean when I wanted to be stubborn. And so, apologize, Mom. Sorry about that. But, yeah, it was, you know, I was kind of like that. But I'm like, no, don't force. So, one of the things I'm going to do to my son is that I'm not going to force him to do or be something that he doesn't want to be, or do something he doesn't want to do, because it can create trauma, you know? And, yeah, I still don't have plants in my house because of that. And the only plants I have is the one you planted, so I don't even...
I forced you to have plants.
Yeah, and I mean, I gotta be honest with you. They're growing. They are. But I rarely water them because I don't remember watering them. Like, now he's like, my son is the one who kind of, you're like, oh, water. I'm like, oh, that's right, plants, water, yes. But I'm really bad at that. I'm really, really bad at that. And so that's why I don't want to force him to do or anything or be anything that he doesn't want to be. But I'm gonna encourage him to do stuff that he wants to do. So for example, he loves music and he loves the sound of the piano. And even when he sees a piano, he starts doing like, wiggling his fingers like a piano, like he's actually playing it. So maybe, in a few years or so, I'm gonna put him in piano lessons to like encourage him to do that. If he doesn't like it, if he cries or just says, no, mommy, I don't want this, I don't want to do, I'm like, oh, okay, fine. I just thought he wanted to do it. But I'm not going to force him to be like, you know what, I'm paying lessons, you got to go. The only thing I'm going to force him to do, but it's not even a force because he loves it, is swim. I think that's very important to every single kid in the whole entire world. Because...
Yes, please. I didn't learn how to swim, and it's so hard for me. I learned when I got pregnant, and my brother-in-law taught me how to do it, like last year.
Yeah. Well, my husband still doesn't know. And
there's still 30. Time.
Yeah,
and lessons.
I try. Yeah, I'm trying. Like every time we go to the pool, especially, like I tell him, get a pool noodle. Those big, like looks like a spaghetti, but like huge things. Get one of those and try to just kick your legs and stuff. And now he's doing better. Like he's actually like kind of swimming, but sometimes he gets like too like anxious. I think he's like he's like, oh my god, and I'm like, okay, chill.
What was the most important thing for me was like to feel safe in water.
Yeah.
Was just to get the fucking glasses.
Wow, the goggles.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they're so cheap, and with that you can see where you are, where you're going. And when you dive, like when you submerge, or if you do like a weird movement, you can always come back and you're like, I know where I am. I know that the rim is there, like, or the border.
Yeah.
So you never get lost in the pool. Because when I was trying to learn and I didn't have goggles on, I was like, where?
Yeah, you feel lost.
You feel a bit lost and panicky. So
Yeah.
with the goggles, you're like.
It's funny, I was never able to open my eyes underwater, even with goggles. Never. I think because I use contact lenses, it's kind of weird for me to open my eyes. And I'm like, I'm going to get water inside, and I cannot. I have contact lenses. So even with goggles, like I learned how to swim when I was a kid, and I went into competitions and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got second place.
Shit.
Yeah, when I was 5 years old or something like that. Like I remember vividly, like I almost got first, but my hand slipped when I touched the edge. And so the girl that was right on my side, she touched it, and then when I came up, it was kind of like a second of lateness, and so I didn't touch it when I got there, and I got so upset. I was like, when I was about to do it first, and they're like, well, but sweetie, you didn't put your hand. Oh, I know, I slipped. I was really, really upset, but I got a medal. And my mom kept the medal because she's really proud of it. I'm like, you didn't do anything, but okay, you kept the medal. And she still has it. And so I loved swimming. And I used goggles. I could never open my eyes underwater.
Just
never.
Did you know that I always hated sports and any physical activity? But the only thing that made me start exercising was martial arts.
Oh!
And I got my first medal when I was like 25 or something, like really old.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
I didn't do Kung Fu, but I did Tai Chi Chuan, which is
more
relaxing and stuff. And doesn't involve fighting anyone. But still, I got my first medal as an adult.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, when you're a kid, it's kind of nice but you don't really give the value to that. You're like, oh, I got a medal. All right, can I have McDonald's now? You know what I mean? But when you're an adult, it's like Yeah, for sure. I always loved kickboxing, for
Oh
example.
yeah, true.
And Zumba as well, but like Zumba is more like for fun. But
I hate Zumba.
kickboxing, I like because
I can say how much I hate it.
I like to move my body, but without like knowing that I'm moving my body. You know what I mean? Because then it becomes exercising, and then I like exercising. So with kickboxing, it's kind of the same shit because you're just kicking and punching, and you're not realizing that you're actually moving all the muscles in your whole body. Same thing with swimming, right? I love swimming. So before I got pregnant, I was doing kickboxing, and I loved it, and my body was girl right on shape. And then one day I felt so sick at kickboxing, and that's when I found out I was pregnant because I was like really sick. I threw up and everything, and I was like, I'm done. I can't even move my arms. And then I started like feeling bad and bad and bad and bad, and then when I did the test and it got positive.
You know how I celebrated the day that I learned that I was pregnant? I went for a cycle ride because I knew it was my last one for.
Oh my god, that's so awesome! Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow,
And then I met my husband to go. We did like everything wrong. We went to a sushi place, but I didn't eat fish. But I was like, I need to eat sushi and I need to cycle my bicycle, to ride my bicycle.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do that for months after. So
wow,
it was a good way. And he fell on the way to the restaurant. He had a fall in his bicycle because he was too excited.
That dude is hilarious. I can't. Oh god. Anyways, I think we're good for today.
I think you're gonna have to cut like a good half an hour.
Nah, it's okay. Nah, it's good. It's good. It's good. Anyways, well, thanks for being here. I had a really fun time with you. It's always awesome to catch up, and I mean, maybe you'll come back. I don't know. Let's see if people has.
The next time it can be more of an Elon Musk interview.
Interview with some weed and stuff. I want to do that. Anyways, thanks for being here. All right, everybody. See you in the next episode. Bye.